Thank you, Mr. Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, and especially Mr. Tao, who should be standing while I evaluate him.
No, sorry. I'm busy taking notes.
Wen gave an interesting icebreaker speech in that it was a lesson, and not a very politically correct lesson, but unfortunately an accurate lesson, that life is not always fair. And I found it interesting that in teaching us this lesson, I paid rapt attention, I felt no ennui in his fascinating speech. But as every mother tells their children, or should tell their children, life is not always fair. It may not be very nice, but it's true. And I believe that Mr. Tao had an interesting perspective in that rather than being portrayed as the poor and downtrodden who life isn't always fair to, he was that proverbial child of fortune. As while he began his speech by discussing some who life wasn't fair to, in other words, abandoned babies, girls who had to work in factories to pay their brothers' tuition in college, which was something that happened in early America as well, showing that industrialization is harsh to the first generation. He grew up in an idyllic village, unnamed, in China. You should always name the village to add flavor to the speech we could identify with. And then his army officer father moved the family to the hustle and bustle of the big city in Guangzhou, which you should have informed the audiences in South China, because not everyone knows this sort of thing. Because when you give a speech and you talk about yourself and your family, especially an icebreaker speech where the whole purpose is to discuss your life, give us that local color, that local flavor. And then, with all the perks that money could buy, he moved to the United States where he earned a PhD and is living happily ever after. Congratulations, you are that proverbial child of fortune. You gave a brief biography, brief description, brief summary of your life. You did very well in that regard. Maybe a few other little details to really humanize you would help. Also, do not lean on this, do not do that, but otherwise, you let us know who you are, you gave us a valuable yet harsh lesson, and I especially would like to offer you kudos for doing it in a foreign language, or foreign to you, but not foreign to us. Excellent job, and I look forward to hearing speech from you too.